So if you're just new to this channel, please like, please share, please subscribe, because I am giving out tips and share information about what my journey was like, and then somehow point out the very important things that you should do. This is like the second part of this series. And so this is what to expect or what to do after you've gotten admission. So, from my own story or from my own experience, so my university reached out in February. So that was like more like the last week in February. Yeah, the last week in February. So I said congratulations, so yay, but then other steps follow. So this step is now where a lot of people have issues, because a lot of people don't even have issues getting admission. To be very honest, like there is no. It's sometimes it's easy to get admission. It's very easy, but the issue is funding, the money now, because when they give you that congratulatory message, they expect that you send a proof of funds, then they issue you an I-20. Now, this proof of fund is where you tell them that I can sponsor myself, or I have my family can sponsor me in the university, and I can do this course without issues. So, and this money is running like maybe $25,000, $30,000, and more, because it includes your tuition, and this is just 1 year. Includes your tuition, includes your living expenses, and living expenses, of course, your accommodation, your feeding, books, supplies, and all of those things, health insurance. So it's the and that's not to say that your parents cannot sponsor you or make contributions, but sometimes it's a lot of money translating it to naira. And because unless you are directly earning in dollars, then that may be easier. But if you're earning in naira, it means you're trying to convert a lot of money, a lot of naira into dollars. So it's not balancing well. And so that is where a lot of people now have issues, because they need funding. Now, like I said in the previous video, you need to be sure that, or you have to be sure that your university can at least provide certain levels of funding for you, or that you even are aware of what their funding pattern is like. So, like I said, some of them you always see on the website. If we give you this admission, it means it comes with funding, and so that's great. But what if it's not the case? What if it's a case of you have to make a separate application? Now, this is the place where you need to make a separate application, right? They would usually send you a link, and then you'd apply, indicating your interest and telling them, it's like selling yourself afresh again. The same thing that you did to get application is like you're doing the same thing, but this time around, it's like you're applying for a job. That's usually what it is. And if you get it, then they'll be the ones to send you the proof of funds to say, okay, we are going to, fund you, and it becomes easier for the university to issue you your I-20. But if this is not the case, so in my own case, my funding came with the admission, so it was easier, and I didn't even stress it when because they would always do the normal protocol, send us proof of fund. When they said proof of fund, I did not bother, because it's you people that will still do the proof of fund. So, but I think the only document I submitted later was my transcript, because when you apply, you will submit an unofficial transcript, but when you eventually get your admission, you have to submit an official transcript. So that was the document I submitted, and they gave me my I-20. You know, so you need to know what's up. If you have people who can give you proof of funds and you submit and then come to the United States, then it means you have to like look for jobs. But what if it takes you a while? You know, I don't know how to put it, but I would usually say be sure of your funding. Be sure of your funding before coming. Don't say when I come I'll figure it out. No. Know what you want to do. Know your steps. All right. Because you cannot be living in Nigeria that you are at least sure of and come to a strange land and you're not sure of anything. If you are not sure of how you're going to pay your school fees, it means you cannot take classes. It means that they may have to rusticate you from the university and then you go out of status. And there's no proof that you're going to come back to the United States. So you need to have that cleared. All right. And especially for international students, it's a big deal. It's a very, if you were an American citizen or something, it's fair enough. But if you are coming in to the States, it's a big deal. So now, if you figured out your funding situation and glory be to God, did they give you assistantship or something and cover for that and then give you I-20? This is where you now begin to apply for visa. Mhm. And that is like an entirely different process on its own. It's totally unrelated. I do not want to give you bad news, but there is every possibility that people, in fact, the day I did my visa interview, I found out that getting admission does not guarantee giving you a visa. So you need God on one hand and you need to prepare on the other hand. You need to prepare. One of the common mistakes that people make when applying for visa is in their names. So in America, Emeka Ike does not mean it is Emeka Ebube Ike. Yes. Or if your surname is that kind of surname that you take away R or you put R or you have H or people misspell it. In Nigeria, that can be taken. But here, my own surname, a lot of people can spell it as like with H at the back. But the way I write it, I don't write it with H. But my birth certificate has H. So it's weird. It means that all your documents have to have some level of consistency. In fact, it has to have consistency. Your first name is your first name. Your middle name is your middle name. Your last name is your last name. And your last name is your surname. That's what we usually know it as. So first, middle, last name. If you want to use initials, make sure it's initials you're using also. If at any point there is an inconsistency in your name, they may say it's not you. All right. Then there is the place of having your passport photograph. There is always a specification. You always see it on the website. There's always a specification for that. So I had to go to in Nigeria. I think it's Studio 24. Studio 24 has like a standard already. So you just go there and tell them I want like a US passport. They know what it is and they do it for you. So whereas anything that does not meet that specification will cannot be uploaded on the website. So I just said people should know that detail. And then you have to fill DS 160. It's a form that you literally have to fill, saying everything about you, your name, everything literally that you have done. But the thing about the DS 160 is that if you how do I put if you make a mistake while filling that form, you'd have to redo it again. So let's say you finished and you found out that, oh, I made a mistake. You cannot edit it. You'd have to start afresh. And it's quite long. It's quite excruciating. Sometimes the sites are hanging because a lot of people are on that site. Usually your best bet is like towards evening or night. At least then it's easier. So DS 160 is very important. I may likely, if you want me to do a video on how best to fill your DS 160, please let me know and I will do that video for you. But then DS 160 is your best bet into telling them about who you are. Because now the school has given you your I-20, you're done with the school. I don't think there are like schools that usually, there are schools, but depending on what your program looks like, if you're coming for like a master's degree or PhD degree, your school may not really make a lot of impact into giving you that visa. All right. So it's now you to defend yourself there. And then you have to pay what they call the service fee. Service fee, SEVIS fee. It's quote unquote a fee you pay to the United States government for them to monitor you. That's literally what it is because um, everything that you do, your activities, as long as you're in the United States, keeps getting uploaded to the service website, and your information is like up to date. They know, is this person still a student? Is this person out of status? Is this person doing well in their classes? Is this person taking the right number of credit hours they should take and stuff like that? Everything is recorded there, and you have to actually pay it. When I paid, it was $350. I don't know if it has increased now or not. I think it's still about that. And then you fill your DS 160, you fill your DS 160, you pay. There's what they call the MRV fee, more like the visa fee. When I paid, it was 72,000 naira, and that money is paid only to GT Bank. But I heard recently that that money is now 150,000 naira. So hopefully it doesn't increase past that. It was 69, then it became 72 when I was doing mine, and then now I had it's 150. So that money is only paid to GT Bank. At this point, in fact, let me tell you some of the mistakes I made. For my service fee, I made a mistake in my email. And I had a friend in the United States, so I sent him the Naira equivalent, and then he paid in the dollars, right? And then he says, they've sent you email. I said, no. He said, yes, they've sent you email. I said, I didn't receive any email. And then somehow my mind just said, check the email that you sent. And I found out that I filled in the wrong details because it's a different form you fill for your service to make that service fee payment. So I just saw that I made a mistake, and I'm like, God, what do I do? So luckily, he somehow reached out to them, and they said, oh, tell the person to send, correction to this email address. So he sent it to me, and I did it. And immediately they updated my information and sent me, because there's a printout you're meant to get that is very relevant for the next stage. So they did that and they sent me. I was so relieved. Another mistake I made was when I was making my MRV fee. So that people will know that it's very important to pray. Oh. Another mistake I made was when I was making my MRV fee. And like I said, your name is very important. So I was trying this. I was trying to make this payment online. I don't know who sent me to do online payment. I should have just gone to bank and filled form and paid cash. I say, let me save my time. Since I was at work, like, let me save my time. So I met a friend of mine that was using GT Bank, because I don't use GT. So I said, oh, give me your this. I sent the money into his account so that I will use his phone. I was trying this thing initially, and I was using my full name. But the minute it went through, I found out that it wasn't my full name that I eventually used for that last time. And I'm like, God, 72,000 naira gone. I was heartbroken. I cried, and I cried for like some days. I was like, how was all of this drama for now? Something that said I should mail them. And see, it's not easy to mail you. I'm telling them you made a mistake. So I sent an email and that email was not even to the right, but it was linked to the, visa office or something, like the consular office. It was linked. So I just saw the email. I wasn't even sure if it was the right, place to send it, but I just sent it that, look, I was making this fee. I made a mistake. This is my name, or this is the name it should have been, my full name, but I just used my first and last name instead of my first, middle, and last name. And so I think after some like 2 days or something, they responded and said, oh, just go ahead with the application. Because I was initially thinking I was going to like start afresh and make another payment. And you'd usually, there are some cases that you'd have to. So you have to be very careful with these things. And this is why you cannot use an agent. See, agents don't care. It's just that money that you pay them that they care about. They don't care. Especially when it comes to your DS 160 or your paying the forms you're going to fill for your service fee or your MRV. Nobody knows you better than yourself. So you are the best person like to make that payment. Do not trust agents to make to fill your form for you. Do not. So they said I should go ahead with my application, and thank God I did. So did all the printout. All these printouts usually are very relevant. So you have to keep all the documents. And then at the end of the day, came to getting dates. And by this time, there were a lot of there is no date, there is no date. In fact, a lot of people were moving to Abuja, like to do their interview at Abuja, because I think United States is still one of the countries that, yeah, I don't know if they're the only countries that still do physical interview. Like you have to come, they would see you and you would answer questions. So I did the okay. It was time for the dates, and I said, God help me. I was just praying, God please help me, God please help me. And I had a friend who had even like he had been waiting for dates. The date he got, this was like 2023. The date he got was saying 2024. Although you can expedite, but usually is one opportunity to expedite or something like that. So, but God was so gracious to me, and instantly, as I like, they gave me that response and said, go ahead with filling like with your other application. And 2 days after, I tried to apply, and they said the consular would have to approve. I said approve what they gave. I asked everybody that was doing it, and they said no, we did not get that. Hey God, I said which approval. 24 hours, they sent me an email that the consular had approved. Immediately, I opened it. I saw dates. I picked dates. Like that was my miracle. I saw dates, I picked dates, and that was how I got very early dates. I didn't have to expedite, I didn't have to. But good thing about it is if you did not get dates in time, even if it's 2024 that you get, you can pick that date and then you expedite. They usually give preferences to students, masters and PhD students. But if you are unable to get a good, how do I put it now? If you're unable to get a good date for you, some people will advise do not pick any dates yet, search. But also they remember that there's a limited amount of time or number or in a day that you can open that site to check for dates. If not, they will lock it and then you have to go and pay another MRV fee. So you need to be very careful how many times you're searching the websites. All right. Now, after that, get your document and everything. Of course, you know you should already have your international passport. So, have your passport, have your what they call it, your documents, MRV, DSIs, 160, and all of those things. Your I-20, you have to have it. Your When you are making your service fee, there is the printout. So all of those printouts you need to have them because that's what you're going to use to go for your visa interview. So I do not mean to scare you, but I just wanted to let you know that it's quite like two different things. It's like one hurdle. Now I've gotten the admission. Now the next hurdle is your visa application and getting your dates and all of those things. I am going to also do a video telling you what my experience was like the day of my interview. And please like, please share, please subscribe. Also, ask any questions that you think you need help with, and I would respond. I will do that free of charge. I'm going to respond to you. LinkedIn, I am very active there. So you just send me a message on LinkedIn as well as here in the comment section, and I would respond. Also, I use my LinkedIn page to answer most questions that people ask. If I have a tutu, is it going to affect me and stuff? So that's where I do most of my writing, answering questions. And here I just do videos to share information with you. I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm going to do another video telling you what my experience was like during the visa interview and the things you should or should not do. All right. So have a nice day. Have a good day. Bye.